Hello, everybody. Just making sure my audio is working, and it is working just fine. Welcome back to Breaking Bitcoin. This is your daily source for everything cryptocurrency trading and investing. I'm your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst at crackingcryptocurrency.com. Hopefully, everybody watching is doing fantastic wherever you are and however you happen to be tuning in today. Before we begin, we are proud to host the fastest online growing community of traders and investors focused on all asset classes. To stay up to date and join our free community, make sure to click the link in the description. Join our Discord at discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com. We've got a great show for you guys today, of course. It is very, very hard to be negative. It's very hard to be salty. Very hard to complain about anything in these current market conditions. But that's actually not true. And that's what I'd like to talk about in today's opening rant. And this is something that many of you individuals watching that are going to be engaged in investing and trading, this is a topic I'm going to be talking about in today's community mentoring session at much greater length, are going to be dealing with is negativity bias. Because you have a human brain, you are hardwired, your wetware is programmed the way that it was biologically intended. You cannot get away from it. And to avoid death by tiger, we have human beings have a quite instantiated negativity bias, and this is designed to help you avoid death by lion, tiger, bear, gazelle, zebra, Binance, whatever. But the point is, your brain magnifies and focuses on negative aspects of your life and negative occurrences more than it glorifies or expounds upon or focuses on the positive things in your life. And this was brought to light to me. This was focused on by scanning Twitter this morning, and I saw a tweet. I've heard this story before. It's a pretty common story about an individual that was trading Bitcoin and bought Bitcoin back in the early days and sold it, made, $5,000 from Bitcoin. And this was before Bitcoin's big run up to, 19,000. And the individual in question just sat there and thought, wow, I missed out on $5.7 million. And, as the tale goes, I don't know whether this is true or not, but took his own life. And, obviously the reason here is because instead of being grateful, instead of focusing on the fact that he had a W out of the situation, out of his investment engagements, out of his investment activities, making $5,000, he could not help but think that what he had actually done is lost out on 5.7 million. And this is not the case. This is not the case. And this is negativity. This is negativity bias at play. Your brain will focus on what could have been, what you might have gotten, what you could have gained if you would have just leveraged up more or sold your house or took out a loan or took this trade at this trade instead, or, drop this, whatever. And I earnestly urge you guys to be aware of this aspect of your wetware. And develop strategies to overcome this, because this will turn profitable trading activities or profitable investment decisions where you should be overjoyed and happy and focusing on the gains that you've made. And it will turn you into a neurotic, kind of withdrawn, depressed individual, even when you are objectively doing well. You're going to compare yourself to the Joneses. You're going to think about, this is very common. This is not just investing. This is everywhere in life. Everybody wants the bigger car, the sexier partner, the nicer body, the bigger house, the larger deck, the better job, the more well-behaved kids, just bigger, faster, better, stronger, whatever. And that's nonsense. It is anti-ethical to being happy and successful, because there's always going to be somebody out there stronger than you, faster than you, smarter than you, better than you. There's always going to be, and that's okay. There's and I don't think that you should focus on the myriad of people that are less smart, less strong, less better than you. What you should instead focus on is what you do have, the things in your life that bring you joy. This takes discipline. This takes active focus, because your brain naturally wants to focus on the negative aspects of your life, right? And it's designed to do that to keep you alive, right? Because you would. If you think you see a tiger in the woods, right, then it is evolutionary biologically better to believe that there's a tiger there and be afraid than to think, it's okay, it's probably nothing, because the one time that you think, it's nothing and it's something, you get eaten. So being aware of this aspect of your psychology, being aware how this applies to investing and trading, it's a huge part of investing and trading. So many individuals, so many students that I mentor will, show me a positive winning trading journal for a month, but they'll have nothing but negative stuff to say. And I have to patiently remind them, listen, 90 to 95% of traders and investors lose money, and you have just shown me a month of gains. You should be happy. You should be very, very happy because this is progress that can continue and continue long enough. This is a professional, avenue that you can that you can continue to take advantage of. Whether you want to make this your active career or whether you want to make this your hobby, a profitable hobby. So be aware of this moving forward. Negativity bias is a real thing, and especially as we are moving into an era where massive gains are likely to be made, always focus on what you have made, the positive goals that you have set for yourself, that you have achieved, where you're sitting at in life, your family, your friends, the good aspects, the good quality aspects about yourself and your personality. Focus on those and be grateful, because there are 1,000 scenarios in which you could be doing worse. And you could sit here and hypothesize a million and one scenarios in which you could be doing better, but none of that will not help you. That will make you depressed. That will make you neurotic. That will make people not want to be around you, and it will make you create this self-fulfilling prophecy where you will be less successful moving forward. So focus on the good, focus on the positive, and be grateful. It takes active work, active discipline, but writing this out, making it a strategy, making it a plan, and probably making it, as I do, the first thing that you do when you sit down to trade. The first thing I do when I sit down to trade is a moment of silence, followed by positive affirmation, right? It is very, very important. People ask how I get ready for the show. I turn on some silly song and I do a little bit of dancing, like Bee Gees, Staying Alive, Huey Lewis, The Power of Love. Positive energy begets positive energy. Negative energy begets negative energy. So being aware of this is a fundamental philosophical concept or psychological concept of trading and investing, and just being a human being in general. Be aware of your own wetware, be aware of its shortcomings, and be aware of how to short circuit this through strategy and discipline will make you a better trader, a better person, and overall appreciate everything that's going on in your life, which is where you want to be. So you did not miss out on 5.7 million. You made 5,000. That is the reality. Be grateful for that. All right. Let's see here. Negativity bias. So premium updates, community mentoring for our premium members is going to take place today at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I look forward to seeing all of you guys there. Updated invitations are going to have to be resent out. Maybe. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. I did it correctly in admin console. So hopefully everything will be correct and good moving forward. I did this last week in advance. So cross your fingers. If anybody has trouble getting invites to the link, just let us know or let the support desk know. We'll take care of you. Today's headline, we'll go over those in a little bit. 9,000 subs on YouTube. Extremely grateful. Thank you guys so much. It has been such a journey to get here. We are growing massively rapidly. I remember over in the last year, it's been 7K and then 8K and now finally 9,000 subs. So thank you guys for all that support. I'd really appreciate it if you help us reach our next goal now, 10,000 subs. So if you guys are watching on YouTube or if you're watching anywhere else, navigate over to YouTube. Highly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. Slap a like on today's video. It helps us out more than you know. We really appreciate the community. And if you want to support us more, you can now become a member of our YouTube community here on YouTube. Pay a monthly fee, just like a Twitch subscription. You will get access to some exclusive content and overall our thanks for helping us grow and stay doing what we do. So comment, shout out, and trade of the day. We'll get to those here in just a little second. I already asked you guys to subscribe, so I think we're good. Let's go over to the live stream. We've got a lot of charting, a lot of analysis to do. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. So let's get going with today's show. Boom. Hey, whoa, what's going on? This is a big chart here. What's going on? Let me hit this button right here for some more light. All right, here we go. Get a little bit of water. Let's put that over there. Hopefully everyone is doing fantastic today. Obviously, doing pretty well today. Okay, YouTube here. And down here and grab the chat. Refresh button, apparently. Boom. Loading. All right, and we're here. Okay, cool. Give a big shout out to King Family, David Rice, Midwest Attempts in the house as always, Crypto Jack, Jana, love the snow. I love the snow too. Nigao, Mihai, Steven, Simonovic. Good to see you back in the show. Across Canada, we've got Robin from the Hood, Brian Screech. Haven't seen you in a while, Mr. Ether, as always. Let's see here. Okay, good to see you guys. Spin B, T-Dub, Mr. Unicorn, You Go Chill. Good to see you guys back in the house. We've got JD Dewart in the house. Can we do a review on CBR coin on Uniswap? It's been a major pump on that coin. Take a look. You like the guitar? Washburn is the brand, my friend. Washburn is the brand. Turn that water into wine. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I just wanted to give a comment shout out here to Mr. Peckham. This was on yesterday's live stream. He said that was a great stream. Like a speed run of altcoins. Loved the way you went in and out with such speed. Clear opinion. Can only be done by people who actually understand the maths behind it. Cheers all. Thank you so much. And a huge shout out to the team yesterday for doing a fantastic live stream while I was experiencing technical difficulties and otherwise incapacitated, unable to do the show. So back in action today, refreshed, ready to go. Technical issues taken care of. And again, huge shout out to Jack, Midwest Attempts, and Alex for hopping in there and taking care of business. All right, so trade of the day. This was recommended by Alex yesterday. We did have it over here on the chartx.pro. This is how an individual can, and again, Alex found this, so this is how an individual can chart Uniswap coins, chartx.pro, chartx.pro. And he had called YFI here, Yearn Finance, for the group, as well as talking about it yesterday on the show. And up about 25%, although from the area where the trade was initiated yesterday to the peak, there was about almost a 90 to 95% profit opportunity. So huge win, huge gain there, and just good analytical skills and good call from Mr. Alex, our senior analyst there. So, all right, let's get into a few other things. I did want to point this out last week, toward the conclusion of last week. Big friend of the show, GBU Wally, GBU Professor Wally, runs Gunbot University. Big shout out to you and Gunbot users as well. He had requested and put in a super chat for Neo USD. One of my favorite coins actually. And I did not see that super chat before the conclusion of the show. And I had the opportunity to, obviously somebody brought it to my attention. I did see it. I messaged him and I did this analysis for him and published this on TradingView. So this is public, and I just kind of wanted to break this down. So on the daily time frame, we did have a daily valid swing long with the Donchian PTP system. So let's just play that tape forward. Entry was right here. That was when it was. That's when this analysis was done. And from there to where we're currently at, well, I can't even see that. Up about 7% on Neo so far. Total profit potential of about 9%. We had looked at the hourly, kind of looking for a more clear entry. We did have an ISIS spot buy signal, as well as CM Williams VIX fix signaling a potential bottom on the hourly. And as we can see, that was a decent buying opportunity. Had a second opportunity here on another throwback, but nowhere near the stop loss that was indicated. So. And then we looked at the weekly level, where we looked at a few indicators here, such as the weekly super trend, and we talked about the rectangle bottom consolidation. So we talked about some more long-term targets, right? So the weekly super trend not bullish yet. Weekly close above resistance at 13.19 would have confirmed a breakout, and long pullbacks to 13.20 after that break. So let's see how the weekly has played out so far. Well, so on the weekly, we haven't actually gotten through that level. The weekly currently sits at about 1183 as we sit right now. So still need a few dollars higher. Early entries here would certainly be jumping the gun on the weekly swing longs up to about 17 and 20. But keep in mind, those are going to be the targets. Breaking 13 would be pushing us up to 17 and 20. And again, with Bitcoin pushing to the upside, USD pairs are going to evaluate with it. So again, very bullish time. And Neo, one of the coins not to miss out on. So just wanted to mention that. You guys can go check that analysis out at any time if you want at tv.crackingcryptocurrency.com. All right, so let's get into BTC USD here on the daily. Nothing invalidating long positions at this point in time. We went through. We're going to be. This is the BTP system that we're going to be focusing on for the month of August. Again, as we do just about every month, we want to switch it up a little bit and show you guys kind of the diversity of what the diversity and the diversity of systems that you can construct in the Pathways to Profit course with the Pathways to Profit methodology, which is our flagship course. You guys can access it anytime with our plus or professional subscriptions, premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Learn to build your own objective trading system. But we can see here that this particular system would have signaled for a swing long, a daily swing long on the 22nd of July. This would have been a fantastic entry. Initial profits would have been taken around 10,100, anywhere from 30 to 50% of the position, depending on exactly how you're running it. And that trade is up about 20% already, 19.06% at current valuations. No exit signals. So listen, almost any system, any PTP system is going to be has signaled for a swing long, and our official recommendation was for individuals, following on this candle, following kind of the breakout candle before it closed, before it concluded. We recommended individuals, just the reality of the situation. Listen, we don't recommend, if you haven't opened up leveraged positions, then you most likely want to wait for a pullback. There will be pullbacks, even though Bitcoin is a momentum asset, Bitcoin is a momentum asset. It continues on a very high momentum and large amounts of buying. We get large amounts of buying. We have had a long period of consolidation, followed by a breakout candle on high volume with a strong candle body close. This is a confirmation of a breakout. However, pullbacks are going to happen in any bullish trend. So waiting to establish a leverage position is always better. Because it's always there, the risk of a pullback is always there. So having a lot of leverage in a trade and the threat of getting liquidated on a pullback is not something that you want to do. But you do want to, of course, have spot exposure to Bitcoin. And going back to what I was saying at the beginning of the show with the negativity bias, again, if you know that if you know that it is kind of dangerous to open up a leverage position here, right? You haven't opened up one already, then getting some spot exposure and watching Bitcoin run, being in that and enjoying the gain that you got is far better than sitting there and being grumpy and negative about the leverage that you could have applied, right? Trading safely, you want to have experience in the market before you're applying leverage to trades. And there's just nothing wrong. There's no shame in not having leverage applied to Bitcoin. There's no shame in just holding Bitcoin. In fact, some of the individuals I know that have realized the best gains from Bitcoin are those that have held Bitcoin for a very long time, that have played the long game, that have been very patient, and rarely, if ever, apply leverage. Now, again, I know a lot of very successful traders at the same time. I've mentored many of them. Many of them are students in our course who apply leverage regularly. So it's just where you are and the risk to reward, the asymmetric risk that you need versus the asymmetric reward that you can receive out of any particular trade setup. So I did not think that applying leverage to a Bitcoin position or an Ethereum position for that matter at around 11,000 was a good idea. And I still believe that way. You do want to wait for a more optimum entry. You do want to wait for another signal or continuation signal, whether that be a reversal within the trend or a momentum continuation signal, such as your continuation system might give you. All right, so looking very good, looking very bullish. No exit signals on today's daily candle, and that's going to be based on our PTP system that we're going to be focusing on for the month of August. Referring to the Nauchian system, which is still a very good, powerful system. We did get the entry signal over here on the 22nd, exact same day. So again, good, robust pathways to profit systems, or PTP systems, are going to be generally signaling around the same time. Not always on the exact same day. And then of course we can apply, or excuse me, we can include slightly more advanced concepts like 1 to 3 bar rules, looking for kind of extended or continued entries. But anyways, around the 22nd to the 25th, most systems would have been signaling go on Bitcoin, which is interesting because that's really the either the first or the second signal. We did get one previous signal here for Bitcoin that was a fake out right here. This was a fake out signal for Bitcoin back on the 8th with the Nauchian system. There was no such signal on that on the prior system, the Q system as I call it. But again, that's okay. One fake signal leading to a massive win. So again, small loss here as we close below the baseline, and then very beautiful signal moving forward here. No exit signal here for the Nauchian system either. So daily swing longs are valid. Looking over at our roadmap of Bitcoin, a little bit more classical technical analysis. 11,327 was the measured move out of the rectangle top consolidation. We did hit that on that initial pump out of Bitcoin. I want to note here on the higher time frames, we have broken above really all resistance here for Bitcoin, all long-term resistance. This is the first time that we've closed above this descending diagonal trend line that acted as resistance back in June of 2019 and essentially acted as resistance slightly here on the push-up on February 2020 before the March meltdown and the retest on June before we entered this long period of consolidation. And really, that was a liquidity raid in and of itself in that rectangle top consolidation. But we've broken out of that. rectangle top consolidation is done. The first measure move was 11,327. And while there are going to be other metrics to, gauge measurements or other areas and other areas, to gauge targets for BTC, I really do think that individuals are going to be better served by just allowing the trend to emerge, right? Holding your Bitcoin, holding your Ethereum is certainly going to be the best thing. I do not think that over analyzing, spending a lot of time on the charts, spending a lot of time in trades, these are the times, these are the asset classes, Bitcoin in particular, where you just want to let it do what it's going to do, right? If you're holding Bitcoin, whether you have a leverage position open or whether you just simply have a spot position open, the more time you spend on the chart, the more time you spend analyzing, the more time you draw lines, the more likely you're going to make a mistake, right? And you're going to sell too early, or you're going to buy it at a bad time, and you're just going to end up just kind of finagling the profit out of the trade. So I don't recommend that you do that. Bitcoin is an asset class, is in a particular period of time where this thing can really fly. And I think that individuals are going to be best served just sitting on your hands, doing something that's very difficult for most traders, which is just sitting on your hands and letting the trade play out, and let the gains, let the profits come to you. They will naturally if you just sit on your hands, right? So do not overthink it. Do not overanalyze the particular trade. But again, the rectangle top measured move has been struck. Good to go. Nothing really changed on the roadmap there so far. And this does validate my long-term weekly analysis here that I had posted. You guys can see this on TradingView as well. When asked what my long-term view of Bitcoin was, I did believe and did feel that this was previous uptrend into a high volume node. Reaccumulation was taking place, and then we were going to break to the upside, that the uptrend was going to proceed. So if we do want to kind of, one thing that we can do, even though I don't feel it's entirely appropriate, but one thing that we can do, if you guys are desperate for a target, is we can measure the previous low to the breakout point here, and look for a continuation of that movement. So if we do get that, kind of the measured target would be about 16,382. And then if we do if we add the 618 extension onto that, it'd be about 20,336, which would be taking us back up to our all-time high. Now, I'm a pretty firm believer that if we do get back up to the all-time high, that we're just going to continue to smash through it. We've looked at if we look at the Bitcoin power law corridor, which has been one of the most consistent systems for understanding kind of highs and lows in Bitcoin's price action. Again, that's going to be pointing us up to about $65,000. And I do not like being a moon boy of YouTube. I'm certainly not. I'm probably one of the most conservative and cautious traders here on YouTube. But the reality is, I'm very, very bullish on Bitcoin. And we're entering, as I've said, we're engaged in late stage empire behavior from the United States of America. Kind of this all the signs, not even signs, just the reality of the currency crisis that is going on. And so Bitcoin and other hard assets like gold and silver are well poised to be to perform far in advance of what people could possibly consider. And again, so targets don't matter. The absolute high and absolute low of any particular movement or trend is never dictated by technical analysis. It's always dictated by what actual market participants do in the order book, auction market theory. So don't overthink it, guys. Don't overthink it. You will make more money being blindly bullish in a bull market than intelligently bearish. Looking at Ethereum real quick. Okay, so first target was hit at 264, breakout of the rectangle top, kind of consolidation, although it wasn't as clean as the rectangle top as Bitcoin. And the next resistance that we face is around 348.88, a good area to take some profit. And again, update one's trailing stop loss. I went ahead and put a trailing stop loss on my Ethereum trade. This current trade up about 30% that was signaled for the premium trading group. So doing well there. Other trades that were signaled for the premium trading group over the last few days as well are performing extremely well. Let's see here. Let's see. Augur, I do believe, hit its first take profit target. Bitcoin Cash was signaled for the group as well. EOS signaled for the group, all three of those trades. And GX Chain is doing well also. So BCH, EOS, Augur, and GX Chain all performing quite well. Augur down down by its entry point, but it did have that nice pop up yesterday in the first take profit. So nothing to complain about. So good gains for the premium trading group. Let's do a refresh here on crypto bubbles and see what's up. We have Lend Protocol up about 20%. It's been one of the most bullish coins of the last year. Digitex futures up 24.7%. I personally think that's a scam coin, but be what it is. YFI up 31% now, as opposed to 25%, which is where it was a little earlier. Overall, quite a good day for altcoins, as Bitcoin is putting in a good day of gains, but not proceeding on this massive momentum that we saw with the breakout, which is okay. It's okay to see a little bit of consolidation in this area and altcoins kind of catch up and pull up here. But again, rising tide lifts all boats. I would be broadly bullish across just about anything that has the word cryptocurrency in it. All right, let's go look at my schedule here. All right, so we talked about Bitcoin, we talked about Ethereum. Highlights. What do I want to highlight on the chart here? All right, so certainly my biggest gain right now is Ethereum. Let's see here. I would say, what do I want to highlight as far as what has been signaled for the group? Let's take a look at a non-crypto trade. Let's take a look at excuse me. Yeah, let's take a look at USO. Take a look at USO. Still bullish on USO, holding my oil position. We've been long on USO since 28.13, still sitting at 29.54, and we've traded USO several times in this area. But again, just looking for a nice, clean breakout of this ascending triangle formation, which we have gotten. And now the nice retest and kind of consolidating and stalling out so far, just here above the resistance that we had at about 29, which is good. I like this. Any throwbacks into that area, I'll still be a buyer, but just kind of waiting for that to progress. Still long on the S&P 500 via the CFD. I do have ETF exposure for this. I do have ETF exposure for SPLG actually on this particular trade, which is my preferred way to trade the S&P via ETF. But I do have the CFD position open as well, and that's performing quite nicely. Our Forex trades are just still continuing to crush it. Long on the Euro Yen, the Aussie Kiwi, long on the Euro Swissy, long on the Pound Yen, short on the Dollar Canadian, which has already hit TP1, just kind of chilling right here. Let's take a look at other ETF trades that were signaled for the group. FUD, roughly back at entry. The nickel ETF performing very, very well, and took kind of the only short exposure that I have is on the France 40 CFD right here. Profitable movement initially, back up a little bit above entry, so now in drawdown on this just a little bit. But again, overall feel this was the right move for this particular. And again, have barely any short exposure on. So applying that hedge and always looking to be protected in the event that long trades don't go the way that I want them to. And again, we already talked about EOS and BCH. Rep putting in some nice gains for us on this nice wick to the upside, and then price pulling back. So again, I do believe stopped out at break even after TP1 on Rep here, but still like Rep. I think that Rep might not be the best re-entry point here. I'll probably wait for that secondary signal now, but overall Rep is an asset that I quite like. All right, so let's look at let's take a request. Let's take a cryptocurrency or other request, and then we will move on to today's news. All right. Crypto Geezer says, your subs seem to follow Bitcoin. 8, 9, 10K. May your show match the stock to flow. 288 subs by 2021. Thank you so much, man. I highly appreciate it. Spend it like Peckham. See, Brian Screech says, never catch you live, but always watch. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Wally says, very nice work on that TV Neo published. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Alex is looking at that 3-bar play. Anybody know where I can get NKLA shares in the UK? Not Robinhood, not Spunking 2000 first trade. What's that? I'm trying to think here. Can't remember it off the top of my head. The broker that I usually recommend for Europeans. I don't want to incorrectly say it. So let me do some research. Let me pull it up on my list, and then I'll let you know. Migosi, hi. How you doing over there on D Live? Jason called MCO for the group yesterday. So again, I made my initial purchase of MCO. I told you guys at around, I think it was $4.10. And wait, hold on. I want to make sure I'm not talking out my behind here. Yeah, I do believe that's correct. Yeah, about $4.10. And while I'm not going to purchase 50,000 MCO, I am going to purchase 5,000 is the whole allocation that I want, so I can get that. I think it's the Ruby Red card. But I am waiting to see if we can drop a little bit lower here. I would like to purchase MCO around 250, but we'll see. We'll see. Might not happen. Yes, Mr. Unicorn and T-Dubs, do not finagle your profits. Digitex, BitBoy was shilling that. I'm starting to think Ivan on Tech is kind of a low-key, sketchy mufu. Listen. Nothing. Listen, I don't know anything about BitBoy. Obviously I quite respect and like Ivan on Tech. He's very, very knowledgeable. But here's the thing, right? Like, if you're on YouTube, then you're gonna monetize yourself one way or the other, right? Ivan on Tech obviously has his academy. We're very upfront about the fact that we run our premium trading group, for example. That is a paid subscription service where we do mentoring. We provide our premium indicator suite, our premium signal service, as well as just everything that we offer. I mean, again, premium indicator suite, our online trading academy, premium signal service, and our community mentoring, as well as our premium Discord community. So the show is a way for us to engage with our live audience, provide more value, and let people know about our premium indicator suite. Ivan on Tech monetizes his channel because obviously he has his Learn to Code Academy. And then there are other ways that YouTubers will tend to monetize their time. This can often be through the way of affiliate deals. This can often be through the way of something something that we've never done, but unfortunately a lot of YouTube channels do is directly promoting individual coins, right? I'm very staunchiated against this. There are very, very few products and services that we recommend because I only will approve, for example, recommending or doing affiliate programs for products and services that we actually use, right? So if I don't use it, I will not recommend it to you guys. There's a lot of YouTubers, a lot of influencers that don't feel that way. They're just out to make money. So you can generally pick up on these things if you pay attention. So I think that some YouTubers have an interest in promoting services or promoting coins perhaps that can make them money. I don't think that's necessary. I guess some do though. But I don't know. I would be cautious about who I accused of doing that. Certainly with Ivan on Tech. There's about 50 YouTubers that specialize in crypto that are blatant shills. So there's only like three. There is a small handful of crypto YouTubers that I respect, and I don't watch any of them. There is one crypto YouTuber that I watch every show, and that's Crypto Daily, because that guy is hilarious. I think he has the best content out there. Oh, he's so good. But you know, I don't watch Ivan on Tech. I don't watch I don't watch yeah, I don't watch anybody. I don't watch anything on YouTube. And there's a reason for that. It's because, you know, I like to make my own content. I like to focus on my own show, and I just don't really have time. I'm too busy. JD Stewart, thank you so much for the $2 super chat, my friend. He says CBR is a good pick of the day to look at. All right, somebody else had requested CBR as well, so let's get with the CBR. Let's take this request. We're gonna go to ChartX so we can look at CBR. This is gonna be a Uniswap darling unicorn. All right, so we've got this. You're kind of whoa, hello, what's going on here? All right, we are live. Okay, we are on the hourly chart. Let's see if we can get probably not a whole lot of data here on the daily. Okay, so see, we've got some accumulation, 3 days of initial markup, and a big push. So just go down here to the, let's say the 30-minute chart, give us a little bit more historicity so we can actually kind of look at what's going on. All right, you know, not a whole lot of technical analysis that we're going to perform on this, but I'll just tell you guys what I can glean from what's going on. You know, this coin is relatively cheap. You can acquire it on Uniswap. I do believe that's the only place that you can acquire CBR, but perhaps I am incorrect about that. Please correct me where I go astray. I'm not a Uniswap maximalist, or I don't do any trading on Uniswap actually. I do provide liquidity on a few ERC20 tokens that I hold. So I do push those coins and provide liquidity on Uniswap, and I'm a dinosaur, so I still have liquidity to migrate to V2 from V1, and that's because every time I try to do it, MetaMask locks up. So whatever, it is what it is. So CBR, we had a nice, pretty big blow off top on high volume, and we've had a pretty volatile range here. Pretty volatile range. Let's actually measure. Yeah, about a 50% range, which is not uncommon for something like this with this low liquidity, low volatility. So I know there's another site where we can pull up. Trying to think of what the website that is. Not ChartX. It is. I'm not going to mess around with it. Where you can kind of pull up the liquidity that's on Uniswap. So you kind of be looking for breakout momentum here on CBR. Because again, you've had a long period of consolidation, somewhat of a rectangle top formation, although that's a little unfair to say. And we seem to have a candle that is breaking above on decent volume and decent momentum. So good volume right here, good buying volume right here. So again, I think the entire market is relatively bullish. So kind of one of the cliched sayings when you're looking for really any opportunity to buy is, you know, all triangles are going to break out in a bull market, right? You know, all rectangles are going to break up in a bull market, right? All wedges are going to break up in a bull market. So we are pretty deeply instantiated in a bull market, so I don't see any reason why CBR wouldn't break out. Now, if you're taking the trade right now, you're looking for risk to reward rate. You know, if you're looking for risk to reward ratio, you know, throwback can occur, and the only way to really be certain is if price closes kind of below previous support here that we have down here, which is about 0.00022.9. So let's just say 0.00023. 0.00023 would kind of be the ending closure for that trade. Anywhere you can pick price up closer to this retest of breakout resistance, kind of closer to 33, would be a safer trade, and you can kind of set a stop loss for that 33. So wide margins, you know, big potential for profit, obviously, but as well, kind of a deep opportunity for loss. So 50% range here. So I would be estimating a decent target for a break would be about 50%, which would basically be a return slightly above the high at around 51, 0.051. I think that'd be a logical target for this. But generally with something like CBR, you want to buy and hold it and allow it to go. So decent potential breakout volume getting sold into right now. I would like to see a couple candles continue to close above, but yeah, you'd be looking for a breakout trade on this. That's about the only opinion that I have on this. I don't know anything of the fundamentals. I don't really know anything about CBR. All right, we'll take one more request, and T-Dub's asking for gold. Like, he just types GOLD USD. We'll look at Zao. And our CFD, sorry. Appear to have gone blind. Again, gold continuing its rally. Spot gold sitting at 1960.65. Beautiful price for gold to be at. We're at the point here on gold, and we've broken above previous highs, where we're just kind of looking for blue sky breakout territory. Hold on, take a drink of this water here. All right. Nothing negative to say about gold. I think that individuals should treat gold the same as they are treating Bitcoin right now. Not a lot of overthinking it, not a lot of overanalyzing it, not trying to finagle with their profits. If one is following PTB methodology, then one's just simply waiting for an exit signal right now. That's all an individual needs to do, and we've got nothing right now. We've got our nice inverted Fisher transform on the RSI, holding well above. I do see a trend flip if we're able to close daily gold below 1857, and we'll be just kind of out and waiting and cautious. Certainly would have a trailing stop loss set on one's gold position right now. But other than that, just allowing gold to run. Just as with Bitcoin. Did get a little bit of a doji on the daily, so we did have some introduction of sell pressure yesterday and continuing to push up from this. So again, the next few days will kind of let us know, are we going to see a pause in the trend here, perhaps some sideways consolidation, or are we just going to continue to run as momentum assets do? Crypto Rick says, hey Justin, currently I'm holding some altcoins and USD. I missed the Bitcoin pump. What do I think is a good strategy from here for the long-term hold? Start to dollar cost average into Bitcoin and hold alts. Yeah, I would certainly hold alts at this point in time. They're going to evaluate against USD. What I would consider doing is there's really no shame in moving. It depends on what alts you're holding. I think DeFi alts are good for quite a pronounced run here. Some altcoins, it's going to make sense to take those profits and push them into Bitcoin. I do think that Bitcoin is against some alts going to outperform them moving forward. Again, a rising tide lifts all boats. So as long as Bitcoin continues to appreciate, altcoins against the dollar are going to continue to rise. So you can diversify your holdings by holding on to some altcoins. But potentially something that one can do is take profit on some of your altcoins and move that liquidity into Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? And then yes, like just start dollar cost averaging, getting some spot exposure, but allowing yourself, giving yourself some leeway and some opportunity. If Bitcoin does throw back or does pull back to retest its breakout zone, that you can take advantage of that and not be kind of chopped sideways. So I wouldn't apply any leverage to your Bitcoin position right here. I would not recommend opening up leverage positions unless you're doing some intraday trading and you know what you're doing and you're good at it. But if you want something for a long hold, certainly I would begin getting some exposure, some spot exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Set yourself up so that you can enjoy them if they run, but leave yourself some capital on the sidelines, some alts to sell, some US dollar in reserve, so that if we get a pullback or if we get a throwback, that we can exit. And if we get a trend flip, right? Listen, anything can happen, guys. If we do trend flip here, right, and price does sell off from here, and we were all wrong. This is not the bull run you were looking for. You'll just take an L, right? And that's why I think that applying leverage to a trade is the incorrect movement right here. Let's see here. All right, so people are talking about the, I'm talking about the purple card. My bad. Yeah, the purple card of the 500 MCO. That's the one that I want. Beckham says I need to up my merchandise game though. Yeah, we probably do. You guys can support the show. Go to krakencryptocurrency.com/merch. You can pick yourself up a Kraken Cryptocurrency t-shirt, but not without the green screen effect. So you won't get that a green screen filter on there. GBU Wally says Crypto Daily is my favorite YouTuber. I'll allow it. Data is for nerds, Justin. YOLO. Okay, Steven Simonovic, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, my friend. Highly appreciated. My thoughts on Nexus. I bought a position at 15 cents. Always loved the project. Should I hold or sell? Thinking about profit and selling 75%. All right, so I don't know too much about Nexus from a fundamental level. It's not on my stuff that I love list. So let's just take a gander. Oh, my boy. All right, so let's look at Nexus BTC. BTC pairs are going to suffer, I think, with Bitcoin's bull run moving to the upside. All right, so from a BTC perspective, this isn't the best profit-taking area on Nexus. I do see it that I have a few areas old school marked out here on Nexus, up at 71.49 and 81.94. Okay, so if we're looking at the SAT value, if you're looking to get the kind of the most amount of BTC that you can out of Nexus, I don't really like it where it's at from a selling perspective right now. Unfortunately, we have begun, we've tripped our initiator and our confirmer on the system into negative territory. One thing I do want to point out here is the IFT RSI is now in oversold territory. Now, that's not the best thing as we can see. So for example, we go into negative territory here, and then we look at this down slip, and we go into negative territory here, and not a little bit of, not too much, but the other difference here too is as well, we're below the baseline here. We're below the baseline here, and we're above the baseline here. So there is kind of a setup here looking at NXS, which is the reversal baseline bounce. Honestly, just kind of looking at it against SAT value, I would hold on to my NXS BTC here, although because of the risk to reward, right? So if we do get a bounce here, I would prefer to get rid of this above 2,000 sats, certainly not below 2,000. And I get we're at 1998, but when I say 2,000, 2,300, 2,500, if we can continue to appreciate like that, which if Bitcoin goes sideways for any reason, alts are going to charge up valued against Bitcoin. That's what happens. That's what happens. So I don't really think that NXS is in the best profit-taking area, but let's look at where we're at valued against USD. So as I said, rising tide lifts all boats. NXS BTC against USD is not in a terrible profit-taking area against the dollar. We've been here since 2018, so November 2018 is when we kind of put in these lows, and for the most part, over the last 2 years, we've traded below that, and you are going to be selling on a relative high, right? Now, I would say that if we can break above, let's say that if we can break above this resistance at around 25 cents, that we could actually see 30 to 40 cents on NXS USD, and that's possible. I mean, look at this nice sell-off, kind of sideways period of consolidation. You've got a little bit of a spring here where we chunked all the way down to about 7 cents, and now they're all the way up to 22. I don't necessarily think we're in the best area to sell right now. It's not a terrible area, right? It's not a terrible profit-taking area. Almost all of our indicators are bullish here, although we do have an exit signal coming in here from the IFT RSI actually on yesterday. No, today's daily candle. Yeah, we're going to be getting that exit on today's daily candle. So no shame in selling here. Again, I think you have a pretty good idea. Lock in some profits, maybe 50%. Maybe even less, maybe 30%, and then see and wait and see if this run can push us above 25 cents. Because I think when we get above 25 cents, then you can sell at 30 or 40. Be better. Let's take a look at the weekly here. Yeah, look at that weekly trend. 31 cents is where the weekly super trend is, and the weekly indicators are looking good. Weekly indicators are looking good. We had the kind of the weekly buy signal over here at 20 cents. So you'd be up quite a bit. Now, again, we're not above that weekly super trend yet. But, yeah, so I do think that's kind of justified. Taking some profit here, especially if you established a position at 15. Take a little bit of profit and then let your winner run, right? If it comes back down to your entry, so be it. But if it continues to go, I wouldn't give up on that opportunity to sell at 30 or 40. You may not get an opportunity to to buy at 15 again, especially if we run with the rest of the market. Why does this always jump down? Crypto Rick is holding Stellar Lumens, Neo, Vitae, and Litecoin. So I'm fine. Stellar Lumens I think is a good hold, as is Neo, as is Litecoin. Brian Screech is holding VeChain. I want to sell that. BNB, good hold. Cardano, might want to look at selling that soon. Tezos, pretty good hold. All the way down on BTYC. Would you simply wait until they pump again? I hate trading back to Bitcoin at a loss. I mean, it really depends. That would, take some time. You'd have to look at like where you bought versus kind of what is the opportunity, what is the opportunity cost to move back into Bitcoin. I think that Bitcoin and Ethereum and the majors are the probably the best positioned to do well, and I think that the majority of one's portfolio should be in those. I know that there's a few different ways to invest in cryptocurrency, right? And one way is the way that I tend to do it, and that is I like to hold the biggest and the safest assets, and I realize regular, consistent returns. Okay, and for some people that's not good enough. They want those 1000x returns, and so they ignore the majors and they put the majority of their money into these like low cap, moon, kind of moon boy shit coins. And I do that too with small positions, right? Very, very small positions. And so when they pay off, I'm like, oh, cool. All right, I just bought a house. But at the same time, I don't allow myself to miss out on the broad market gains. And I want those gains in kind of the safest, most liquid, highest market capitalization markets. So, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, considering establishing a position in Monero now that it's being listed on Binance and Kraken. Teespring, smashing it. Do I think the Bitcoin bull run has begun? Yes, I think the Bitcoin bull run I think we're on. Yeah. Peckham 08 hoodie. I want a CC hoodie. We have them on the website, my friend. I should add CC or HODL to some face masks for the store. Yeah. What do I think about Raven protocol? So if we're talking about RAVEN, I talked about this the other day. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember what I said. I remember looking at the chart. Hopefully I'm not being unfair to my former self. But seeing a big volume spike like this and breaking above highs, I believe, I almost certainly would have said a profit taking area and waiting for a pullback. Kind of have that right now. You can see here the price pulled back to previous resistance, tested at about 0003. Not sure whether this is fight against dollars or against BTC, to be quite honest. It's almost got to be dollars. I cannot believe this thing being in the hundreds of thousands of sat value. So kind of setting bids down here at 0004, maybe even 0003 would be probably good pickup points for Raven. But this thing's had a huge volume spike out of kind of this descending formation, right? Kind of this rectangle top that sprung and then pushed to the upside. So I would wait to see this thing go sideways. You do see some big absorption wicks here to the downside, but this thing might continue to slump if it is for the time done. So if I were to try to pick this up at any price, it'd be 4, and then I would wait. I would let this thing play out a little bit until we get some consolidation and either clear continuation, but big volume spike there. As far as the fundamentals and as far as like holding Raven for the long term, I don't know anything about it. I think Link is probably done for the short term, especially with the FUD coming out, but it's been a good ride. EOS is extremely bullish. NEO is extremely bullish. I've already gone over both of those. EOS was called for the premium trading group 2 days ago, and NEO, I put out an analysis on that on TradingView last week. Kyber Network is most likely going to go down with Link, unfortunately, but might be slightly different. Yeah, Dash is looking pretty good too, Blue Kryptonite. Do I still think Cardano will hit 19 cents? Let's take a look. Do I have this charted out? Yeah. So I think barring, listen, anything can happen for Link here. We have such a huge range between 890, where we hit, and 458, which is where we come from. So my eyes would certainly be on 458 or below before I consider reaccumulating Link again. I don't have any Link anymore. So it's possible that we establish consolidation or some sort of formation here on the higher time frames over the next year or so. But I have no interest in being in Link anymore. I'll let the FUD come in. I'll let the shillers come in and tell you to buy up that coin at these highs. I'll let people pump it. I'll let the Link Marines do what they want. And again, no offense to them, but listen, Link Marines, like I was with you guys, right? I was with you. So with you guys. I was with you guys under $1. All right. So we're at we hit almost $9. Like, I'm done. Okay. Time to move on. Like, liquidity be circulated to something else. Things just do not go infinitely up. Let's see here. A lot of ways, my friend. You can hit that super chat button. You can come watch us on Twitch or D Live. Drop some donations there as well. Highly appreciate the question, man. And then KNC. Yeah, I think KNC continuing to move down here with Link. So let's actually want to get. Yeah, so kind of the first area of interest for KNC for me is around $1.20, and we did have a wick close to that, $1.26, but I still think that we can see some more downside here on KNC. So Bitcoin Cash is what I'm interested in. Let's see, we've got Litecoin, BCH, Dash, LTC, all kind of long-term runners for me right now. Alex, did I get stopped out of JJN? Not that I am aware of, sir, but I'll have to review my broker when it's time to trade. But I didn't get any alerts, so not to the best of my knowledge. Okay, we looked at gold. Let's take a look at, let's finish kind of our market breakdown and go to oh shoot, actually before we do that, okay. So that's kind of our first market round. We're going to do our market wrap up now. Look at Forex. We'll look at precious metals. We did already look at gold, but we'll look at silver, and we'll look at our indices here for our traditional markets. But before we do that, I want to remind you guys that today's show is brought to you by the Premium Trading Group of the Kraken Cryptocurrency Premium Trading Group. And I really do not feel that there has been a better time to learn how to navigate the markets. Whether you're interested in cryptocurrency, Forex, stocks, or derivatives, the Premium Trading Group certainly has you covered. You can join our community of professional traders and learn how to build your own objective, data-driven strategy, especially if you're tired of trading with your gut or watching crypto Twitter for signals or trying to join random Telegram groups. It is likely just not working for you. If you're watching poor discipline and trade management sap away your progress, you can make the change, build your own strategy, deal with professionals, and join us at premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. That's premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. All right, let's get into the rest of our market wrap up before we get into today's news nuggets, and that is going to be Forex. Let's hop over here to this chart, get into Forex. All right, so we already talked about, I'll just kind of start us off with the open positions that I have called for the premium signal service, the Aussie Kiwi. And again, everything that I call for the premium signal service is a trade that I'm actively in as well. So still long on the Aussie Kiwi here, price performing very well, particularly on today's movement. The Euro Swissy, had to update the stop loss on today's movement. We'll go see if that actually triggered, because the price that I have on here and the price that might actually be triggered on Awanda's FX trade is slightly different, but it does look like after updating, after hitting our first TP, we did have a pretty decent pullback yesterday to our stop loss. So we'll see if that triggered. If so, we're out. If not, pushing up a little bit off of our updated stop loss. But again, from our entry to our first take profit to updated stop loss. And Euro Yen as well. Euro Yen has not, let me actually double check. Where are you? Yeah. So Euro Yen already hitting first TP. Did not trigger the break-even stop loss on this one. So again, still in on this and getting up to our, back up to our first take profit again. And the pound yen doing nicely. Hasn't hit our first take profit yet, I do believe. No, 137.045. So again, entering right when we should have. Where's this one from a few days ago? Yeah, on the 21st of July. So holding this one open. Yeah, so right here. Yeah, here was our entry on the 21st of July. Holding this one open, pushed up a little bit, pushed back down to our entry. We saw some nice absorption wicks indicating that we were on the right side of the trade, and now we are pushing up for kind of that next leg up on the Euro Yen. And we'll look at the currency strength indicator here in a little bit. Dollar Canadian took the short on this, still in that active short, performing well. Let's take a look at the currency strength indicator so we can get a good idea of what we should be trading against to what, as well as take a look at our calendar. All right, so we want, let's look at tomorrow. All right, now we've got Germany CPI. All right, so we've got Euro CPIs coming out tomorrow. Germany unemployment. GDP. Not too worried about that. Not too worried about that. Yeah, so a lot of economic data, or yeah, a lot of economic data coming out of the Eurozone. America, we've got the GDP advance and initial jobless claim, estimated to be 14,000, 50,000, 1,450,000, 1.45 thousand. Nah. We do have some interesting commodity data for pork and beef. So that might actually play into, I am long on FUD, so this might actually be good for the agricultural sector. So that might I might take that into account tonight when I look to trade ETFs. Not for CFDs, because there's just not too many CFDs to trade on Awanda that are going to give me commodity exposure like that. Time to short Tyson again. Come on, Brett. I know you're with me. Let's short Tyson one more time. Come on, brother. So I would tend to be a little adverse to euro pairs, at least to the short side, particularly with the CPI data coming out. Might be trading into a hot spot. Other than that, and I would not be going long on any dollar pairs. Although one individual that I respect is looking at a reversal on the dollar right around here, as it is trading extremely weak. So let's look at the currency map. So the euro is the strongest performing currency of the day, followed by the British pound and the Swiss franc and the Aussie kiwi. The yen, the Canadian dollar, and the United States dollar are all performing like poo. So this is what you should be trading long. This is what you should be trading that long against. Or this is what you should be going short against this. All right? Pretty easy way to do it. If you're sitting there and you're wondering, okay, well, I've got the euro signaling on, you know, the pound, the Aussie, and the Canadian. Well, what should you long it against? Probably against the Canadian, because the Canadian's weak. Canadian dollar's weak. Or the dollar. The dollar's extremely weak. We will see if we can get it bounced from the dollar in this area. Other than that, so what would I be wanting to trade? I'd probably be akin to trade pound and Swissy pairs, pound, Swissy, and Aussie pairs, and I'd avoid the euro for right now, unless the signal was extremely attractive. So let's look at what we've got. We got the Aussie against the yen. Not a continuation signal, but not looking too bad. Aussie Canadian looks good. Aussie Canadian might actually be a decent entry right here. Aussie dollar is actually a pretty decent entry right here. Canadian Swissy would be a valid short, but not, I mean, not right now, not for my system, but certainly would be open to, or holding Canadian Swissy shorts. Canadian yen shorts should be held. Swissy yen longs can be held. Euro Aussie I wouldn't be trading the euro against the Aussie. Euro Canadian longs can still be held. It's a great trade. Euro Kiwi trades can be held. Euro pound trades I wouldn't be trading right now. This is a no trade zone for me. Euro dollar trades can be held to the long side. Pound Kiwi looks actually like a beautiful trade. Might be taking this one today myself. The pound Canadian longs can be held. Pound Swissy I wouldn't be trading. The pound yen would hold that to the long side. The pound dollar would hold that to the long side. The pound Aussie I wouldn't be trading right now. Let's see, the Kiwi dollar I wouldn't be trading, although both the Kiwi and the dollar are both weak, so I wouldn't trade them against each other. Neither would I trade the Kiwi Canadian. The Kiwi Swissy looks like it's going to be a short. Would not trade the Kiwi yen. Dollar Canadians continue to be a good short. The dollar Swissy has been the greatest short. I called this one out for the group. I didn't call this as a signal, but I pointed this one out to the group early last week. Dollar yen. Aussie Swissy I wouldn't trade. The dollar UN I wouldn't trade. Yeah, so the only thing that I found, a lot of strength. Hold open your strong trades. The only thing that I saw for potential entry on today's candle is the pound Kiwi to the long side. So we'll reevaluate that one in daily close. Let's look at CFDs and our precious metals here. So we already talked about gold looking very, very strong. Palladium having a hell of a pullback. Now, because I'm a little bit more speculative on palladium than gold and silver, I would wait for a continuation signal. Although, to be quite honest with you, no exit signal on palladium and bullish above 2004. So silver stalling out just a little bit. That's fine. Big doji on yesterday's candle, so a lot of profit taking. We'll see what happens. The short sellers really, really, really need to see a big pullback here on silver. They're going to be slaughtered, so I'm betting on them being slaughtered. So same thing with platinum. Looks like we might have a little bit of a pullback. Bullish above 845, but and again, silver, I'd buy up anything. Closer to $20 we can get is a better buy, but I expect gold and silver to continue to run. Now looking at our indices here. We're going to look at our ETFs of indices. So the DIA still would not be taking any activity on the Dow. The Dow is while the Dow is not yet bearish for me, so I'm not going to be shorting the Dow. It is completely neutral. All right, let's look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is not giving me a continuation signal, so while still bullish on the Nasdaq, not taking any longs on the Qs. And let's look at the SPY here. Again, same thing on the SPY. Although I am long on the SPX 500, I don't see any continuation entries right now at this point in time. And again, the way that I'm trading the SPY is through the SPLG ETF and the SPX 500 USD CFD. All right. Let's see here. Listen, I'm not going to lie. The VIX starting to look like an attractive long. Starting to look like a very attractive long. So we might get nice breakout here on the VIX. So something to add to your portfolio as well as BTC move. Actually, I'd probably short BTC. I'd probably short BTC move at this point in time because that would be the inverse hedge to your long exposure. Spot BTC, short BTC move, and then options contracts if you want to hedge. All right, so that takes care of that. We're going to get into today's a little bit, not really crypto currently, but just kind of news nuggets. So we're going to take a 1 minute break. We're gonna take a 1 minute break. Just refresh, get ready for the news nuggets, and then we'll get into our question and answer segment. Take your guys' questions live, and then that's gonna be it for about today's show, guys. So if you guys have any questions, get those ready. Might take a look at a few more chart requests, but generally talking shop about trading and investing in general. So thank you guys so much. If you guys have any, if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Does help us out quite a bit, and drop a like on today's video. We're gonna go, and again, as I said earlier, we only promote products and services that we like. One of the products and services that we like is Bybit. It's the exchange that we trade on. Of all the leveraged exchanges that I've traded on, that is the one that I've made the most profit on and had the best user experience on. It's the one I recommend to just about everybody. They allow us to do some cool contests on there and trades with our community members. So if you guys would like to participate in that, or if you're trading on BitMEX, for the love of God, get off BitMEX, get over on Bybit, get yourself a margin bonus. If you sign up with the link in the description, bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Let's go see how Jason's doing with his Bybit account after making the switch from BitMEX himself. We'll be right back. Can't catch a break over on BitMEX with all the wicks? Try a better alternative at bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com and rest easy for a change. All right, thank you guys for holding on through the break. Might have had to go grab an Oreo thin or two. A little hungry up in here. Possibility. Okay. All right, so news nuggets. Let's get into today's nuggets of the news. Right here somewhere. Okay, here we go. So, first story from Trust Nodes. The Ethereum 2.0 Launchpad goes live. So, we've talked a lot about Ethereum 2.0. Obviously the DeFi craze, the amount of funds locked up in DeFi, yield farming, and we've covered it all. And the developers have just announced that the staking launchpad, through which people can participate in kind of the test of the proof of stake system, is, let's see here, when is it going to be? Testnet launch is going to be August 4th, and about 150,000 testnet Ethereum has already been deposited to the contract with it, and now waiting for the testnet launch on August 4th. So for those of you who don't know, Ethereum 2.0 is going to be utilizing proof of stake as opposed to proof of work, which is more secure. But Ethereum needs to have a faster or more corruptible, shall I say, a consensus mechanism so that it can push through all of the smart contracts and all of the transactions that it needs to do so. So again, certainly not the right choice for Bitcoin, and maybe not right for the security, long-term security of the Ethereum network in the long term, because again, proof of stake does create economic incentive for malfeasance and foul play, but it's just not as secure as proof of stake or proof of work. But again, Ethereum is attempting to do something radically different from Bitcoin, and even though Bitcoin will eventually have second layer smart contracts, happy to see very, very positive, very, very bullish on what Ethereum's trying to do over here. So again, this is the free market. This is laissez-faire. Let's and let them do what they want to do. So I think that and a lot of people are very cynical, negative about Ethereum 2.0. And while it's funny to sit back and poke and make fun of them, I've met so many Ethereum developers, and they are, radically intelligent people. It is very difficult to put this all in a box and have all the right answers. So I wish them luck, and I look forward to seeing what they're able to accomplish and make. So there is a tutorial to go through the testnet right here. Let's see, what's the go to medela.launchpad.ethereum.org. All right, you guys can learn about the Medela testnet and how to take advantage of it. There's a nice tutorial that walk you through everything, generate your key pairs, and all of that. So let's see here. Gonna have to know some coding. And of course, it's going to be testnet Ethereum. So if you lose it all because you code it wrong, it's actually okay. Not a big deal. All right. Now, following up on a topic we've touched quite a bit on in recent weeks, why privacy coins like Monero could get left out in the cold, while transparent blockchains like Bitcoin are actually going to be entering or find approval from the traditional banking fold. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong appeared on What Bitcoin Did podcast with Peter McCormick, and he said that Coinbase is not going to be listing privacy coins like Monero because they're still untested grounds for regulators in the United States. What he really meant to say is that, hey, our CIA spook told us that we're not allowed to list any privacy coins, and that we just need to go full steam ahead with selling our users private data, while telling them that we're not actually selling their data. But this is not a big surprise. Kraken, Binance, I think even Binance US. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure what Catherine Coley's going to do over there at Binance US, but they're likely going to list Monero. Hold on a second. They are going to list Monero. So it's not a huge surprise here that Coinbase is not going to be listing Monero, just based on its approaches to everything. So, you know, you could say this positively. You could say this Coinbase. You could say that Coinbase only wants to list the things that it knows for sure are going to pass. But I don't think that you need to be. I don't think that you need to be as. I don't think you need to be as cautious with what's going on. So not a huge surprise here from Coinbase. Goldman Sachs revising their gold target finally. So raising their price target for gold and kind of sounding the alarm, as they see here, about risks to the United States dollar. So not sure whether they're just whether they're just riding kind of the FUD train. It's kind of odd to see, you know, a big investment bank like Goldman Sachs, you know, sort of be making my arguments. But they put out this note to clients on Tuesday, reaffirming gold being the currency of last resort, even though they don't seem to have that positive of a take on Bitcoin. Amid uncertain economic conditions, raising their price target for gold to $2,300 per ounce after it surged to record levels earlier. So, by the way, looking kind of forward to a kind of a non-event from the Fed announcement today. But I think that's what majority of the market's waiting for. I said earlier that I was going to be conservative until after the Fed announcement. And I think that Jerome Powell is going to come out and say that, hey, we're going to do everything we can to keep the economy moving full steam. But I think that we're going to have a negative reaction to that potentially in equities. So watching pretty closely the equities markets later on today. And let's see here. A couple other stories here before we get into the Q&A section, and then probably be calling today's show close. 1 million emails, 9,500 home addresses were hacked from Ledger. Now this is Ledger's marketing database. So one of the most prominent Bitcoin and Ethereum crypto wallets has announced that their e-commerce and marketing database was accessed by an unauthorized third party. There we have a quote here that says, "Contact and order details were involved. This is mostly the email addresses of our customers, approximately 1 million addresses. Further to investigating the situation, we've also been able to establish that for a subset of 9,500 customers, their first and last names, postal addresses, phone numbers, and or ordered products were also leaked." So this is not this does not affect the actual hardware. This does not affect the cryptocurrencies that are held on the ledger. This was their marketing database, so it was a database of information. So we'll see if we can get a have I been pwned website to see if you were one of the 9,500 that have been affected. Let's see if we can get some I'll talk to some of the guys, see if we can't get a Twitter thread going on and tweet at Ledger to see if they can do something. Ideally, the best thing that they would do is they would email the affected customer directly to let them know that their first, last name, postal address, phone number, and the products that they ordered have been slipped. So good going, Ledger. You know, sat here and listen, I still have to, because I think that Ledger's probably still probably the best. It's certainly one of the best hardware wallets out there. I know that KeepKey is getting some positive reviews, but Cold Card is certainly, I think, the best hardware wallet if you want to be hardcore security. But Ledger is going to be the best bet. I have a Ledger, and it's just unfortunate to see the kind of marketing. So again, what I would do if you have purchased a Ledger is reach out to Ledger and ask them directly if you fall into the 9,500 that was affected. And be aware, you know, depending on if you used your primary email address to order your Ledger or to push your order through, just be aware of any potential phishing emails that you might get. All right, kind of final story for the day is going to be on Augur. Now, Augur launching version 2 of their project on their mainnet, keeping pace with the DeFi ecosystem, right? So they've added DAI, 0x, and Uniswap support. You know, rep tokens are up about 27%. DeFi sector is still tiny, though, when compared with the rest of the market. So the for those of you who don't know, Augur is a decentralized kind of prediction and betting market platform. So they've just launched their version 2 of their protocol on the Ethereum mainnet. So let's see here. So the total volume locked up on the Augur platform has increased quite a bit, and their native token has been performing well, up about 27% this month. And as I said, this adds DAI, 0x, and Uniswap support. The first version of Augur used Ethereum for trading, which caused problems due to price volatility. So adding a stablecoin and a more DeFi style approach means V2, I think, is really set to shine. So Augur is actually one of my top picks for this bull market and kind of for long-term holds moving forward. Big fan of Augur. All right, with DAI being pegged to the dollar, and if it stays stable, when people make the bet, the payout they get at the end is what they expected to get. So that's kind of the biggest change in Augur V2, which I think is a good idea. People want to know that the amount that they thought they were going to get at the conclusion of the prediction or the successful bet is what they're going to get, is what they expected to get. And redesign the user interface from the ground up, so it's more akin to what you'll see on Binance and Coinbase Pro. So slicker user interface, which is user interface is a must. It's a sore spot for cryptocurrency. All right, no immediate token migration is necessary. The only time in which migration from rep to rep 2 would become a necessity is if an Augur V2 market entered into the forking process. And again, price reacting quite nicely. And again, with DeFi still such a small cap. With DeFi still so small, it has quite more room to grow. And I think Augur going to be one of the shining. I mean, again, I don't know how I don't know how else to say it. Augur, one of my top picks for the next 6 months. All right, so with that being said, let's move over to Bitcoin intraday. Sorry, guys, I'm getting a little tired. I'm gonna be looking at in the live stream here in a little bit, but let's look at questions that we got coming in. No, not that button. About this button. Yep, that's the button. Oh, we got a member. We got a YouTube member. We got Yorick. We got GBU Professor Wally. Welcome to a very helpful supporter. Thank you so much, my friend. Highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for the membership. And yeah, so Yorick and GB Wally grabbing that YouTube membership. Thank you guys so much for the support. Highly appreciated. You guys are amazing. Yeah, I'm sorry. K Smooth 7 says, could you give us some insight into my personal annual or monthly profits percentage wise? Curious as to how your systems perform. Not only can you ask for the insight, you can go run the numbers yourself, because I am one of the only traders. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm the only trader who posts his results every single month. So and all of our analysts do. So results.crackingcryptocurrency.com. There are a few trades that aren't published there. Like, for example, I don't show like long-term investments of mine and where I take profits and discretionary things like that. But all my trades that I publish for the premium signal service, which are all the trades that I take, are published, are recorded live, and you can see the actual growth of my equity value. You can see the actual raw ROI. You can see the raw P&L. All of that's recorded. Now the numbers are adjusted, so I don't show my the actual amount of funds that I have, but the percentages are the same. So you can see that at results.crackingcryptocurrency.com. But what I can say just very loosely, is the same thing that I'm very consistent on. Trading is my full-time job. It's my active source of income. Passive, I do have other income streams, but they're all passive. So for example, there's some real estate that I rent. There are a few products and services that I've sold that I receive income, royalties, let's say, on a residual basis. There are a few other things that I do, like I'm thrifty, so I like to garage sale. I make leather work, I sell that. That's my hobby. I've monetized that. there's some odd jobs that I do seasonally that I enjoy doing. But trading allows me to pay my bills. I own my house, so I don't have a mortgage anymore. Although I do have mortgages, but just not on the house where I live. And it allows me to do everything that I want to do. I'm not the wealthiest man in the world, nor do I want to be. I suppose if I sold all of my assets, I certainly could be quite happy with the wealth that I have. But I'm a fairly minimalist man. I have simple needs. I don't spend too much money on things I don't need. I have an old Honda, and I did just recently buy a new truck, but that's about it. My house is not a mansion in the hills. It's pretty simple house. Seven streams of income, independently wealthy. Yep. Having multiple streams of income is good. And trading allowed me to do that. Trading allowed me to have an investment mentality and mindset. And it allowed me to understand the difference between active trading, which pays my monthly bills, and then investments, which I hold for a long period of time. And then when I feel that when those investments are at the prices where I want them to be, I take profit on those. And those allow me to buy things that I want. Like, so for example, another house that I want to rent out, or real estate that I want to rent out, or it allows me to just invest in different things, right? So for example, one of the things that I just did today is I just went and I didn't close. Closing was on August 31st, but the bank accepted my offer on another house. So it's taken, it takes a while. It took me a while to get here, but it was through patience and discipline and just applying the same methodology day in and day out. It was not taking huge risk, not using high leverage. It was not going all in. I have none of the lucky success stories that people have. If I have a success story, which I certainly do, and I'm grateful for, it's being patient and consistent and conservative and disciplined over and over and over and over and over again. So it's being good, not lucky. And thank you so much. I do see another member here. Let's see here. Little to Fade, official. Highly appreciated, my friend. Thank you so much for joining the channel. So let's talk about, while we're on that topic, let's talk realistically. Okay, so I trade cryptocurrency, I trade Forex, I trade CFDs, precious metals, and I also trade ETFs. And very, very rarely I'll trade individual stocks. So let's talk about the average return of the market in general, right? You'll hear that it's 9 to 11%. I don't think that's true. I think it's actually closer to 5 to 7% due to inflation and other factors, right? So if you are able to return 15 to 20% a year when you're trading, I'm talking of your total portfolio, you are doing very, very well. I think that decent traders can do that. If you are a very, very good trader, you can consistently return 30% or greater of your portfolio per year. And nobody in cryptocurrency wants to hear that. I understand you guys do not like hearing that when I say that. They're like, 30%? Oh my God, I need these 10,000x gains. Listen, I returned 30+% on my portfolio in 2018, 2019. I'm going to do it in 2020. I've already done it in 2020. And I've done more than that, right? So for example, I did reach triple-digit gains on my entire portfolio over the last 3 years. And that's not hard to do in cryptocurrency, particularly if we get a bull run. And this is because I got a pretty aggressive strategy where I hold the majority of my funds in BTC, and I utilize my hedging strategy to protect myself if the trend flips. So, while those very large gains are certainly possible, if you want to make it as a full-time trader, if you're able to return, if you're able to return 20% or greater per year, then you're doing well. If you're able to return 30%, you're a professional. And if you're a professional, that means you can. If you don't have enough money to make a living trading, if you don't have, let's say you don't have $100,000, so that you can make $30,000 a year, or let's 200,000 so you can make 60, or 300,000 so you can make 90. You can get individuals to give you that money so that you can make it that way. And that ripples out into everything that you do. It allows you to begin making long-term investments because you're going to learn the discipline and patience necessary from trading that way. You're going to have the realistic expectations, and you're going to have the skill necessary for success. ETFs are exchange traded funds. So they're securities that you can purchase in America, and they're bundles of assets, right? So they're contracts, they're bundles of assets. What do we use for trading? So the exchanges that I use to trade cryptocurrency are quite a few. So I trade on Bybit. The majority of my capital I trade on Bybit. Binance, FTX. I use Coinbase. I use Coinbase Pro for large transactions. Although I have begun to use Kraken a little bit more because I've kind of begun moving away from Coinbase just a little bit because of their bad publicity, let's say. But I still use Coinbase. And that's about it. There's a few other exchanges that you like. Uniswap I've used. There's a couple other dexes, but for traditional markets I use Webull. I do use Robinhood a little bit, but mostly Webull and Charles Schwab. And then for Forex I use Awanda. For Forex and CFDs I use Awanda, the broker that I utilize. And then, for example, I use a trade aggregator like 3 Commas. Helps out quite a bit for most of my altcoin trades, although I do trade on Bybit platform natively. What's my preference in rental properties, single family, multi-residential? It all depends. So, I like to look for what Meet Kevin calls wedge deals, although I've never called them wedge deals. I just call them licks. Like I look for good opportunities. And I've got a pretty good network. I live in a small state. I live in an even smaller area, so I just kind of know people, and I have agents that call me when opportunities are coming up, for example, like foreclosures and things like that. Those are typically the opportunities that I look for. And then I'll just kind of take a look at the house. My best friend is a contractor, so we'll just go through and he'll quote me for whatever needs done, and I'll just see if the juice is worth the squeeze, and I'll put an offer in. And if I get it, there's a couple times, there's a few places that, for example, we've cut up a larger house into rental units, or it's a smaller house, so we just fix it up and flip it. It's just whatever happens to be done. So I try to do those, try to do one of those like once or twice a year, and that's a good source of active/passive income. What do I like about Webull? It's I don't know. It's good for a new trader, right? They run. They got this neat community section where you can read about different stocks. They've got educational content. Of course, they got the 0 commission fee trading. They've got a pretty easy interface, especially if you use the web app. Although the mobile app isn't too bad. And one thing is they've never had any of the issues that Robinhood's had. If I were to recommend an interface, it would be Robinhood's. But if I were to recommend I've never had any issue trading on it, it would be Webull. But if you want to kind of upgrade to a more professional and more robust broker, it would be Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab is my favorite. That's where I have the majority of my capital on. Coinbase banned me in 2014. Wouldn't say why. We're talking too much truth. Who has the smallest fees for crypto? Coinbase seems high. Coinbase is extremely high. If you're going to buy spot Bitcoin, then as always, I recommend finding an individual, PTP is always the best way to purchase cryptocurrency. But, Kraken is probably a better platform. So is, and Cash App if you want to get it quick right now, instantly, have lower fees than Coinbase. But Coinbase Pro has the lowest fees. So if you, maybe not the lowest fees, but Coinbase Pro is probably one of the better ways to buy spot Bitcoin as well. So if you just go through regular Coinbase, yeah, they charge you an arm and a leg. So what you want to do is you want to go to Coinbase Pro and link up your bank account and then deposit from your bank account. That's how you want to do it. Where can you do options on cryptocurrency? Deribit. Deribit is where people trade options on crypto. Bybit does not have options. They have insurance. It's kind of like, it's not like options whatsoever. It's insurance on trades. But it's pretty neat. And FTX, yeah, FTX has options as well. But Deribit has more liquid options, I think. I would still trade options on Deribit. All right, guys. Well, back over here. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. I'm your host, Justin Wise. As always, lead analyst and senior mentor at KrakenCryptocurrency.com. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you guys go on to have a beautiful day. It's a great day outside. Go out, at least where I am. So go outside, get some sun. We've got so much. Remember, the community mentoring session is going to be coming up here shortly for our premium members. If you guys would like to begin building your own objective, data-driven strategy and join our community, make sure to click the link in the description, premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. Join the Discord, whatever you do at discord.krakencryptocurrency.com. And if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe, like, and share today's show around. Really does help us grow more than you realize. And we are, as always, very appreciative of your support. Thank you for the new 3 members over here on YouTube. Highly appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys, for helping us grow. And shout out to everybody watching on Twitch and D Live and Facebook Live as well. We will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And again, remember, negativity bias is a real thing. Focus on the things in life that bring you joy. Be grateful for what you have. Don't wish, don't be negative about what you could have or how it could have played out, right? Don't roll the tape like that. You will just become neurotic, despondent, depressive, and nobody will want to be around you. Instead, if you're grateful and you focus on the things that you have, even if they're not that much objectively, people will want to be around you and greater things will gravitate towards you. It's the law of attraction, ladies and gentlemen. Don't believe it? It works. It is evident in my life. It's evident in the lives of individuals that I've taught it to as well. So be grateful, be happy. Remember, it is not luck. It is risk management and discipline that pays the bills. There's no shortcut to success, guys. You just have to, eventually, at some point, you have to start doing the right things. Guess what? If you're running around doing a whole bunch of drugs and drinking a lot, you're not going to be successful. If you don't have a good sleep schedule, you're not going to be successful. If you don't have a good exercise schedule, you are hindering your success. Let's put it that way. You could sleep very little and not exercise too much and still be successful, but it's not sustainable. And you just have to develop a strategy, right? You have to develop a strategy and you will be long-term successful. This is how I got to where I am. These are my rules for success, and these are the things that I follow every single day. And if I lose those things, then I'll have to rely on being lucky. And there are too many people on YouTube trying to be lucky. I am trying to be good, and that's what we do. So, and again, trading is a means to an end, guys. Allow it to enrich your life. Be grateful for what you have. Enjoy the gains. Don't be negative, despondent, depressive, whiny about what could have been. So, at the end of the day, world is in your hands. Reach out and take it, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, be good, trade safely. Cheers.